Hello friends, it's Carla here for the 13 days of Halloween. Today we're on day 9 and we're using some Halloween vignette box tops that are created by Holtz, as well as the vignette boxes. So here is a look at the box toppers and how they fit onto the boxes. There's 4 different sizes of boxes that come in the set. And there's different toppers that you can get, but these are the Halloween ones. So I chose 2 different sizes that I wanted to do, and I'm just folding the box tops along the score lines. They are a vintage Halloween look, very cool. I love these old style of Halloween decorations, and I'm using some Distress Oxide ink to just go around the edges of the boxes and the creases. Now I'm going to put some paper in the back of the vignette boxes, and I'm just using a script paper that I had in my stash. One is an off-white and one is a black, and I just turned those over and marked the size of them by looking at where the edges of the wooden box would be. And now I'm just using my trimmer to trim those down so that they're going to fit inside the box, and I can do some stenciling on them before I put them in. These are 3 of the new stencils that have just been released by Holtz, and I grabbed this star background, and I'm using some Distress Oxide ink. It is a dye and pigment ink. It's a hybrid ink, and so you're going to get more of a chalky finish, and it's going to show up on this dark background. So I'm just inking this with a blending brush and filling in those stars, and there you can see them just lightly in the background. Now we're going to use some of this Nouveau Moonstone. It's a paste, almost a texture paste that is iridescent. It's very pretty. So I'm just going over, it's another one of the Holtz stencils. This is the shifter one, and it came in a kit from Simon Says Stamp 1 year, and so that's why it looks a little bit different than his regular ones. And it's going to dry mostly clear but with an iridescent shine. Now we're moving on to the smaller box background, and I'm taking some green Distress Oxide inks and blending those in. So the lighter green there, we're going on the top part, and then moving on to the darker green to go in the bottom. And this just gives a bit of an ombre look on the background. Again, we have the script there, so I don't want to overpower it. I just want to add some subtle interest to it. And now I'm just taking a brushed corduroy Distress Oxide ink just to give a little bit of shading around the edges. You're not going to really see this too much, but it just gives a little bit. I'm taking my heat gun and just lightly drying this to make sure it's dry, and I'm going to set it aside for a bit, but I just didn't want my finger or the ink blending tool to go in there and smudge any of that texture. So I'm just gluing the background here right onto the inside of the box, and it fits snugly in there, and I just use some tacky glue. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do with the inside of the box, so I grabbed some Holtz ephemera. I had grabbed some paper dolls, which I don't end up using, but they would look great in there too. There's lots of different ideas online, and I ended up choosing the Simple Stories Simple Vintage Halloween line that was out, it may have been last year or the year before, and I really liked the vintage look of the Halloween images, and they were really cute and fun, and I just thought they really fit with the look that I was going for, and they went along well with the vintage look of those box tops as well. So I just add some foam tape, and I am checking to see that the box top goes on and you can still see the images in there. I want to add some layers, so we've got the little wood slice there that Holtz has out, and I am just using some hot glue, and I'm layering and getting some dimension within that box to create a little shadow box. So I've got some of the Simple Stories stickers, and I'm just adding some of the other elements there and hot gluing it on, and then hot gluing the box top right onto the box. So there's other ways that you can use these box tops as well, and I think they're really fun. I love the look of them. You could use them as a frame, and I really loved being able to use them in my Halloween decorating. So I'm taking a sticker sheet from this Simple Stories collection again, the Vintage Halloween, and just finishing off that box. Now I'm doing the larger box, and I'm gluing in the background the same as I did for the smaller one, and just placing the box topper on to get an idea of where I want to put things. I've chosen a cute little girl on this pumpkin for this little box, and adding all the elements as well. Just using some different levels of foam tape. And then I've got a little cat here from the Tim Holtz ephemera, and he looks cute in there, so I'm just trimming off a little bit from his paws and tail so that he fits in there, and I can still see around him to see the little witch girl with her pumpkin. And I added a couple layers of foam tape so he would be popped up a little bit more. You've got quite a bit of room to move in these boxes. For the bat, I wanted him to be kind of hanging on the side, so I added some glue, and I just bent that wing over to give it a little bit of an edge, and I end up moving that bat down a little bit just so you can see it better. And you can always use your heat gun to reheat hot glue and then move it easily if you need to. So my layers are all on there, and I'm taking the hot glue gun again and just gluing down the edges. I find if I do each opposite side and then the top and the bottom opposite, then I'm sure to get that on evenly. And I know that it's going to stay stuck because of the hot glue. So we've got the sticker sheet. Again, I'm choosing a little banner for the bottom, the same as I did for the small box. I'm layering that on, and then I've got a little pumpkin guy who looks super cute, and we're going to just put him on the bottom as well. I decided to add this little 31 that's from the Tim Holtz ephemera, and I added a little bit of Distress Oxide ink around the edge to give it just a highlighted edge, and hot glued that on. So there's a look at the completed vignette boxes, and I just love how these turned out. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these 13 days of Halloween. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope you're having a wonderful October. Thank you. Bye-bye.